Trudeau hosted an economic summit today to discuss the threat of U.S. tariffs. He addressed hundreds of business and labor leaders in Toronto, pushing to improve free trade inside Canada. But it was his hot mic remarks made behind closed doors that are now stealing the spotlight.
Are we safe now?
As cameras left, Justin Trudeau made comments only meant for people in the room.
I suggest that not all of you guys in the Trump administration know how critical why they keep talking about absorbing and taking us. It's about time.
The hot mic moment was captured at an economic summit in Toronto.
So that was Trudeau's infamous hot mic moment, and this is what some people understood.
So by now you've already heard that Justin Trudeau was caught on a hot mic. He was talking about how Donald Trump is dead serious and he wants to annex Canada. He wants to take Canada. I can tell you right now, me and many, many other Americans will not let that happen. I still don't for a second believe that he has the support here in the United States. He needs to do something like that. But if by some grace he does and he tries, we'll stop him. And if we can't, let me tell you, you can have the new Northeast. We will surrender in a heartbeat. I will go right up to your military service. I will say, hand me a uniform, hand me a Canadian flag, a carbine, and some tactical gear, and some tobacco. And let's go to work, baby. And I know a lot of you MAGA loyalists watching this are going to be like, ha ha, what a clown. You think you can fight? Let me tell you, buddy. I was in 5th Special Forces Group. Don't f around with me. I know what I'm doing. And I'm not alone. There's plenty of veterans out there just like me. We're willing to fight with Canada.
So let me get this straight. You were in the U.S. Special Forces, and you thought it's a good idea to go on the internet and tell the whole world that you would fight against your own country on behalf of another country.
Are you stupid?
Well, comrade, you just outed yourself in public, so if war with Canada would ever happen, which it won't, I'm pretty sure you'd be taken into custody before you could defect. But hey, since that would never happen, right now, you just look corny.
Like our Prime Minister yesterday, Justin Trudeau yesterday, said, was caught on a hot mic, but let's be honest, we all needed to know, and he caught saying it, that what I said earlier, like last week, what I said, that Trump is going to annex us, invade, he wants our critical minerals. It's a serious threat. It is not a joke.
Sweetie, he never said Trump is going to invade. The worst thing that might happen between the US and Canada is a trade war. But sweetie, in case you don't know what the difference between a real war and a trade war is, let me explain it to you. In kindergarten terms, a war goes pew pew, boom boom, and the trade war goes ka-ching, ka-ching. Know the difference. It might save your life.
And so I was on this call and I said, yeah, we're preparing for a war. And they were like, with who? With us, with the U.S. And I told them how serious it was, how Canadians everywhere have spent the last week boycotting the U.S. and looking up ways to make sure that they've sort of decentered the U.S. from their conversations and their lives.
Okay, sweetie, let's actually entertain this just for the LOLs. If Canada essentially cuts itself off from the U.S. market, who exactly do you think Canada is going to replace the US market with? The European market? Well, the only thing Canada could sell in Europe is oil and gas, but they're already buying from the US, and I'm pretty sure they wouldn't risk pissing off Trump to buy from Canada. So, what's left?
But what you did is you pissed us off, and you told us, we can't trust you as allies, and we can't trust you as trade partners. So we jumped on the phone, we called up China, and we said, hey, how do you feel about a free trade agreement? And China responded with, we feel peachy keen. So now we're taking hundreds of billions of dollars out of the U.S. economy and reducing our dependency on the U.S. to send it all to China.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
Oh, you actually think you did something, didn't you, comrade? Look, the Chinese would definitely love increased trade with Canada, but they're not going to buy Canadian oil and gas because they're buying it from Russia on the cheap. Now, sure, you could sell them agricultural products, but the Chinese are already buying that from Russia on the cheap. And if you think about it, anything that Canada could sell to China, the Chinese can replicate on the cheap, sure, lower quality, but they're cheap. Meaning, Canada wouldn't be selling much to China, but the Canadian market would be flooded with cheap Chinese goods that Canadian manufacturers would not be able to compete with, meaning they'd go out of business.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
So, you see, the reality is, you can't actually decenter America, which is your largest trade partner, like the lovely ladies on TikTok think they can decenter men and choose the bear. Because, you know, the bear is the second largest oil producer in the world, and the bear would just love to have the sanctions lifted and replace Canada as the primary trade partner of the United States if Trudeau actually tears up the contracts and quote-unquote decenters the US market. As for the whole actual war with Canada thing, look, the US and Canada are military allies, not just bilaterally, but under NATO as well. And no matter how squirrely Trump is, or how much he might hate NATO or Trudeau, he'd never, ever attack a NATO ally, which is why Trump, despite all his blowhardness, will never annex Greenland by military force. Because, you know, that would mean attacking Denmark, which is also a NATO ally. So, at the end of the day, both Trump and Trudeau are talking crap simply as a negotiation tactic. So if anybody actually thinks Trump will try to annex Canada by force, take a chill pill and relax.
And that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so.